Hello there, and welcome to the Dreamy Science Channel. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe your mind has been racing with thoughts from the day, or perhaps you're simply someone who finds comfort in learning something new before drifting off to sleep. Either way, you've come to the right place. Tonight, we're exploring the gentle mysteries of the human mind through the lens of psychology. You don't need to do anything but rest. Let your breathing slow, your muscles relax, and your thoughts settle like leaves falling softly to the ground. We'll wander together through fascinating discoveries about how your mind works, how you connect with others, and the quiet processes that happen beneath your awareness. If these calm explorations help you unwind or give you a moment of peace at the end of your day, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Your brain creates its own version of reality. Every moment of your waking life, your brain is quietly editing what you perceive. It doesn't simply record the world like a camera. Instead, it actively constructs your experience, filling in gaps, making assumptions, and creating a seamless version of reality that feels complete and accurate. But this construction is more creative than you might imagine. Your brain takes shortcuts, makes educated guesses, and sometimes invents details that aren't really there. The blind spot in your vision, where your optic nerve connects to your retina, is constantly filled in by your brain's best estimate of what should be there. Colors appear more vibrant in your peripheral vision than they actually are. Faces seem more symmetrical than they really are. Your mind is not a passive observer, but an active artist, painting your reality with invisible brushstrokes of assumption and expectation. This gentle editing happens so smoothly that you never notice the seams. You can only hold about 7 pieces of information in your mind at once. Your conscious awareness has a surprisingly small capacity. Psychologists have discovered that most people can hold between 5 and 9 items in their working memory at any given time, with 7 being the average. This limitation shapes how you think, learn, and make decisions in ways you rarely consider. When you try to remember a phone number, solve a complex problem, or follow directions, you're working within this narrow window of attention. Your mind has developed elegant strategies to work around this constraint. It chunks information together, creating meaningful patterns that take up less mental space. It relies on habits and routines to free up cognitive resources. And it constantly moves information between conscious awareness and the vast storage of long-term memory. This limitation isn't a flaw in your design. It's a feature that helps you focus on what matters most while filtering out the overwhelming complexity of existence. Your unconscious mind processes thousands of times more information than your conscious mind. While you're focused on reading these words, your unconscious mind is managing your breathing, monitoring sounds around you, maintaining your balance, and processing countless other streams of information. It's scanning for potential threats, recognizing patterns, and making connections you're not even aware of. This unconscious processing isn't just background noise. It actively influences your thoughts, feelings, and decisions. Research suggests that your unconscious mind can process about 11 million bits of information per second, while your conscious mind handles only about 40. That vast difference means most of what shapes your experience happens below the threshold of awareness. Your unconscious mind recognizes faces in milliseconds, detects changes in tone of voice, and picks up on social cues that you might not consciously notice. It's like having a powerful, silent partner working alongside your conscious thoughts, handling the complexity of existence so you can focus on what seems important in the moment. You make most decisions before you're consciously aware of them. Neuroscientists have discovered something remarkable about decision-making. In many cases, brain activity indicating a choice begins several hundred milliseconds before you become consciously aware of making that decision. This doesn't mean you don't have free will, but it suggests that consciousness often arrives after the initial stages of decision-making have already begun. Your brain appears to prepare for action before your conscious mind catches up to explain and justify what's happening. This process happens with simple decisions, like whether to move your hand or which word to speak next. The unconscious preparation creates a foundation that consciousness then builds upon, adding reasoning, consideration, and sometimes changing the initial impulse. It's as if your mind has multiple layers working together, with consciousness serving as both narrator and editor of a story that begins deeper in the neural networks of your brain. Your memory is more like a Wikipedia page than a photograph. Every time you remember something, you're not simply retrieving a stored file. You're actually reconstructing the memory from scattered pieces of information, and in the process, you can unknowingly change it. Each act of remembering is also an act of subtle rewriting. Details can shift, emotions can be enhanced or diminished, and entirely new elements can be woven into the story. This happens because memory storage is distributed across your brain, with different aspects of an experience stored in different regions. When you recall something, these scattered pieces are brought together and reassembled, but the reassembly process is influenced by your current mood, recent experiences, and even subtle suggestions from your environment. This means your most vivid memories, the ones that feel most certain and reliable, may actually be the ones that have changed the most over time. Your brain prioritizes meaning and emotional significance over precise accuracy, creating memories that feel true to your experience even when the details have quietly shifted. You have a built-in negativity bias that once helped you survive. Your brain is naturally wired to pay more attention to negative information than positive information. Bad news, criticism, and potential threats capture your attention more quickly and stick in your memory more strongly than good news, compliments, and signs of safety. This isn't a character flaw or a sign of pessimism. It's an ancient survival mechanism that helped your ancestors stay alive in a world full of dangers. A rustling bush might be nothing, or it might be a predator. Those who paid attention to the potential threat were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. Today, this negativity bias can make you focus more on a single critical comment than 10 compliments, or worry more about unlikely problems than celebrate likely successes. Understanding this bias doesn't make it disappear, but it can help you recognize when your mind is automatically highlighting the negative. You can gently remind yourself that your brain is doing what it evolved to do, even when that tendency is no longer serving you well. Your brain continues to grow and change throughout your entire life. For many years, scientists believed that adult brains were essentially fixed, unable to form new neural connections or grow new cells. But research has revealed something beautiful about the human mind. Your brain remains capable of change, growth, and renewal throughout your entire life. This process, called neuroplasticity, means that learning new skills, forming new relationships, and having new experiences literally reshapes the structure of your brain. The connections between neurons can strengthen or weaken, new pathways can form, and in some regions, entirely new brain cells can be born. This means that change is always possible, no matter your age or circumstances. Every time you practice a new skill, your brain adapts. Every time you challenge yourself to think differently, new neural pathways begin to form. Even as you sleep, your brain is consolidating the day's experiences, strengthening useful connections, and pruning away those that are no longer needed. Your mind is not a fixed entity, but a living, growing, adapting system that continues to evolve as long as you live. You can literally change your brain through meditation and mindfulness. When people meditate regularly, their brains undergo measurable changes. Areas associated with attention, emotional regulation, and self-awareness become thicker and more active. Regions linked to stress and anxiety show decreased activity. These aren't just temporary effects that fade when the meditation ends. They represent actual structural changes in the brain that persist over time. Even brief periods of mindfulness practice can begin to alter neural patterns. Studies have shown changes in brain structure after just 8 weeks of meditation practice. The areas that grow stronger are precisely those that help you manage stress, focus attention, and maintain emotional balance. The anterior cingulate cortex, which helps with attention and emotional regulation, becomes more active. The prefrontal cortex, involved in decision-making and self-awareness, shows increased thickness. Meanwhile, the amygdala, which processes fear and stress responses, becomes less reactive. This means that the simple act of paying gentle attention to your breath, your thoughts, or the present moment is actually rewiring your brain in beneficial ways. Your emotions are constructed by your brain, not simply triggered by events. While it feels like emotions happen to you, research suggests that your brain actually constructs emotional experiences from a combination of physical sensations, memories, and contextual information. The same rapid heartbeat could be interpreted as excitement, anxiety, or attraction, depending on your environment and expectations. Your brain is constantly making predictions about what you should be feeling based on the situation you're in and your past experiences. These predictions then influence what you actually feel. This doesn't mean emotions aren't real or important. They absolutely are. But it does mean you have more influence over your emotional experience than you might realize. By changing how you interpret physical sensations, or by shifting your attention to different aspects of a situation, you can sometimes shift your emotional experience. Your brain is remarkably flexible in how it constructs meaning from the raw data of sensation and circumstance. You have multiple memory systems working simultaneously. Your brain doesn't store memories in one place or in one way. Instead, you have several different memory systems that work together to help you navigate life. Procedural memory handles skills and habits, like riding a bike or typing on a keyboard. Semantic memory stores facts and general knowledge about the world. Episodic memory holds specific personal experiences, complete with context and emotions. Working memory manages information you're currently thinking about. Each system has its own characteristics and follows different rules. Procedural memories can last a lifetime and operate below conscious awareness. Semantic memories can be recalled without remembering when or where you learned the information. Episodic memories are rich with context, but more susceptible to change over time. These systems can sometimes conflict with each other or work in harmony, creating the complex tapestry of human memory. Understanding this can help you be more patient with yourself when you remember some things clearly but forget others, or when you can perform a skill perfectly but struggle to explain how you do it. Your brain has a default mode that activates when you're not focused on the outside world. When you're not actively engaged in a task, your brain doesn't simply shut down or go quiet. Instead, it shifts into what neuroscientists call the default mode network. This network becomes active during rest, daydreaming, mind-wandering, and introspection. It's involved in self-referential thinking, imagining future scenarios, and reflecting on past experiences. The default mode network connects regions involved in memory, emotion, and self-awareness, creating a state where your mind can make connections between different experiences and ideas. This is often when creativity flourishes and insights emerge. Many people report having their best ideas in the shower, during walks, or just before falling asleep, when the default mode network is most active. However, an overactive default mode can also be associated with rumination and worry. The key is finding a balance between focused attention and restful mind wandering, allowing your brain to benefit from both states without getting stuck in either one. You process faces differently than any other visual information. Your brain has specialized neural networks dedicated specifically to processing faces. These networks develop early in life and become remarkably sophisticated, allowing you to recognize thousands of individual faces and detect subtle changes in facial expressions. Face processing happens so quickly and automatically that you can recognize a familiar face in just a few milliseconds. Your brain can even detect faces in objects that aren't faces at all, like clouds, electrical outlets, or cars. This tendency, called pareidolia, shows just how tuned your visual system is to facial patterns. The specialized nature of face processing means that damage to specific brain regions can cause prosopagnosia, or face blindness, where people lose the ability to recognize faces while maintaining normal vision for everything else. It also means that faces capture your attention differently than other objects, triggering unique emotional and social responses that don't occur with non-facial stimuli. Your sense of self is actually constructed from multiple brain networks. What feels like a unified, continuous sense of being you is actually the result of multiple brain systems working together. There's the narrative, the story of who you are, base self, which creates on memories and experiences. The minimal self, which provides the basic sense of being a conscious entity separate from the world. The social self, which understands how you relate to others. The embodied self, which connects your identity to your physical body. These different aspects of selfhood are processed by different brain networks, and they can sometimes be disrupted independently. Meditation, psychedelic experiences, and certain neurological conditions can temporarily alter one aspect of selfhood while leaving others intact. This doesn't mean the self is an illusion, but rather that it's a sophisticated construction that your brain maintains through constant, usually unconscious effort. Understanding this can bring a sense of flexibility to your identity, recognizing that the self you experience is both real and changeable. You are biologically wired for social connection. Humans are among the most social species on Earth, and your brain reflects this evolutionary heritage. You have specialized neural circuits for understanding others' thoughts and emotions, recognizing social hierarchies, and coordinating group activities. Social pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain, which is why rejection, exclusion, or loneliness can literally hurt. Positive social connections, on the other hand, activate reward circuits and can reduce stress, boost immune function, and increase longevity. Your brain is constantly reading social cues, interpreting facial expressions, and adjusting your behavior based on social context. Mirror neurons fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing the same action, creating a neural foundation for empathy and social learning. This social wiring means that connection with others isn't just nice to have. It's a fundamental need that affects your mental and physical health in profound ways. Your brain creates vivid dreams by temporarily paralyzing your body. Each night, as you drift into REM sleep, your brain orchestrates one of the most remarkable processes in human experience. While your mind constructs elaborate dreamscapes filled with impossible adventures and forgotten memories, your brainstem releases chemicals that temporarily paralyze most of your voluntary muscles. This sleep paralysis isn't a malfunction. It's a protective mechanism that prevents you from acting out your dreams physically. Your breathing continues. Your heart keeps beating, but your arms and legs remain still while your mind travels through landscapes that exist nowhere but in the theater of sleep. Occasionally, this system doesn't work perfectly. Some people experience sleep paralysis while partially awake, feeling temporarily unable to move as their consciousness returns before their muscle control does. Others, particularly those with certain sleep disorders, may move during dreams, acting out the adventures their minds are experiencing. But for most people, most nights, this elegant system allows you to live entire lifetimes in dreams while your body rests peacefully. Your personality is more flexible than you think. While it might feel like your personality is fixed, research reveals something more hopeful and dynamic. Your fundamental traits do show consistency over time, but they also demonstrate remarkable plasticity throughout your life. The introvert can learn to be more outgoing in certain situations. The anxious person can develop greater calm. The pessimist can cultivate optimism. These changes don't happen overnight, and they require genuine effort and practice, but they are absolutely possible. Your personality exists as tendencies and preferences, not as rigid laws that govern your behavior. Environmental factors, life experiences, and conscious choices can all influence how your personality expresses itself. Even your beliefs about whether personality can change affect how much it actually does change. People who believe their traits are flexible show more personality growth over time than those who see their characteristics as fixed. This doesn't mean you should try to become someone completely different, but rather that you have more room for growth and adaptation than you might realize. You have an inner voice, but not everyone experiences it the same way. Most people have some form of inner speech, that stream of words and commentary that runs through their minds throughout the day. But this internal experience varies dramatically from person to person. Some people experience their inner voice as a constant, clear narrator, commenting on events and helping them think through problems. Others hear multiple voices representing different perspectives or aspects of themselves. Some people's inner speech is more like impressions or feelings than actual words. And a small percentage of people report having no inner voice at all, thinking instead in concepts, images, or pure meaning without verbal translation. These differences in inner experience don't indicate better or worse ways of thinking, just different cognitive styles. Your particular pattern of inner experience is as unique as your fingerprint, shaped by your individual neural architecture and life experiences. You can improve your memory by changing how you encode information. Memory isn't just about storage capacity, it's about the quality of encoding. When you pay deeper attention to information and create meaningful connections, you dramatically improve your ability to remember it later. This is why you might forget someone's name seconds after being introduced, but remember a fascinating story they tell in vivid detail. The story engages multiple types of processing, creates emotional resonance, and connects to existing knowledge in your memory. You can deliberately use these principles to enhance your memory. Creating visual images, finding personal relevance, generating emotions, and linking new information to things you already know all strengthen the encoding process. The method of loci, used by ancient Greek orators, involves associating information with familiar spatial locations, turning abstract facts into a mental journey through a house or neighborhood. These techniques work because they align with how your brain naturally processes and stores information most effectively. Your brain has a remarkable ability to ignore information that contradicts your beliefs. Confirmation bias isn't just a tendency to seek out agreeable information. It's also an active process of filtering out or reinterpreting information that challenges your existing beliefs. Your brain actually processes confirming and disconfirming evidence differently at the neural level. Information that supports your beliefs tends to be processed quickly and accepted readily. Information that contradicts your beliefs triggers additional neural activity as your brain works to find ways to dismiss, explain away, or reframe the challenging information. This happens automatically and largely outside your conscious awareness. It's not a character flaw or a sign of closed-mindedness. It's of how humans' a natural consequence cognition works. Your brain is constantly trying to maintain a coherent worldview, and contradictory information threatens that coherence. Understanding this bias can help you approach disagreements with more patience and curiosity. Recognizing that others aren't necessarily being stubborn or irrational when they resist information that seems obvious to you. You experience time differently, depending on your emotional state and age. Time isn't just measured by clocks. It's constructed by your brain, and that construction varies based on many factors. When you're anxious or afraid, your brain processes more information per unit of time, making time seem to slow down. This is why accident victims often report that everything seemed to happen in slow motion. Conversely, when you're absorbed in an enjoyable activity, your brain processes time differently, making hours feel like minutes. As you age, your perception of time speeds up because each new day represents a smaller fraction of your total life experience. A year to a 5-year-old represents 20% of their entire existence, while a year to a 50-year-old represents just 2%. Your brain also has different systems for processing different types of time. Circadian rhythms track daily cycles, interval timing handles durations of seconds to minutes, and circannual rhythms manage seasonal changes. These systems can be influenced by light, temperature, hormones, and even social cues, which is why jet lag feels so disorienting and why time seems to pass differently in different environments. Your empathy operates through multiple neural systems working in harmony. When you understand what someone else is feeling, your brain activates several different networks simultaneously. Mirror neurons fire when you observe others' actions and emotions, creating a kind of neural mimicry that helps you understand their experience from the inside. Theory of mind networks allow you to consciously reason about others' mental states, understanding that they have beliefs, desires, and knowledge different from your own. Emotional contagion systems can cause you to unconsciously adopt the emotions of people around you. These systems work together to create the rich, multifaceted experience of empathy, but they can also operate independently. Some people are excellent at cognitive empathy, understanding others' perspectives intellectually, but struggle with emotional empathy, actually feeling what others feel. Others experience intense emotional contagion, but have difficulty reasoning about others' mental states. Understanding these different components of empathy can help you recognize your own empathic strengths and develop greater compassion for the different ways people connect with each other. Your attention is more limited and selective than you realize. You might feel like you're aware of everything happening around you, but your attention is actually a narrow spotlight that can only illuminate a small portion of available information at any given time. The classic demonstration of this is inattentional blindness, where people fail to notice obvious changes in their environment because their attention is focused elsewhere. In one famous experiment, people watching a video of basketball players failed to notice a person in a gorilla suit walking through the scene. Your brain is constantly making decisions about what deserves your attention, filtering out most sensory information before it reaches conscious awareness. This selective attention is usually helpful, preventing you from being overwhelmed by the constant stream of sights, sounds, and sensations around you. But it also means you're missing more than you realize. Can witness the same event and remember two people very different things depending on where their attention was focused. Your brain creates expectations that shape what you perceive and experience. Before you enter any situation, Your brain generates predictions about what you're likely to encounter based on past experiences, contextual cues, and current goals. These expectations don't just influence how you interpret what happens. They actually shape what you perceive in the first place. In restaurants, people rate the same wine as tasting better when they're told it's expensive. Students perform better on tests when teachers expect them to succeed. Pain medications work more effectively when people believe they're receiving a powerful treatment. This isn't just wishful thinking or placebo effects, though those play a role. Your brain's predictive processing actively constructs your experience by combining sensory input with prior expectations. This system usually serves you well, allowing you to navigate familiar situations quickly and efficiently. But it also means that changing your expectations can literally change your reality, opening up possibilities for growth, healing, and transformation that might otherwise remain hidden. You have multiple types of intelligence that operate independently. The traditional notion of intelligence as a single, measurable capacity has given way to more nuanced understanding of human cognitive abilities. Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences suggests that people can be intelligent in different ways: linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial, musical, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. These different types of intelligence can develop independently, which is why someone might be brilliant at understanding complex mathematical relationships, but struggle with social situations, or excel at musical composition, but find spatial reasoning challenging. Your particular constellation of intelligences is unique, shaped by genetics, experience, and the environments you've encountered throughout your life. This understanding can bring both relief and possibility. Relief because it explains why you might find some things naturally easy, while others remain challenging despite your best efforts. Possibility because it suggests there are many different ways to be smart, many different paths to contribution and fulfillment. Your brain processes positive and negative emotions using different neural pathways. The circuits that generate positive emotions like joy, contentment, and love operate somewhat independently from those that create negative emotions like fear, anger, and sadness. This is why you can feel gratitude and worry simultaneously, or experience love and frustration toward the same person. The asymmetry between these systems helps explain why negative emotions often feel more intense and memorable than positive ones. The negative emotion system evolved to detect and respond to threats quickly, so it tends to be faster, stronger, and more attention-grabbing. The positive emotion system, while equally important, operates more subtly, often providing a background sense of well-being rather than intense peaks of feeling. Understanding this asymmetry can help you appreciate why cultivating positive emotions often requires more deliberate effort than avoiding negative ones. It's not that you're naturally pessimistic or that happiness is unnatural, but rather that your brain's threat detection system is more sensitive than its opportunity detection system. Your unconscious mind continues processing information during sleep. While your conscious mind rests during sleep, your unconscious continues working on problems, consolidating memories, and making connections between disparate pieces of information. This is why you might wake up with the solution to a problem that seemed unsolvable the night before, or find that a creative project flows more easily after a good night's rest. During REM sleep, your brain appears to be running through different combinations of memories and experiences, sometimes finding novel connections that weren't apparent during waking hours. Non-REM sleep seems to be important for consolidating procedural memories and integrating new learning with existing knowledge. Sleep also appears to clear metabolic waste from brain cells, essentially cleaning your neural networks for optimal function the next day. This ongoing mental activity during sleep isn't random or meaningless. It's a crucial part of how your brain processes experience and prepares for future challenges. Respecting your need for sleep isn't just about rest. It's about giving your unconscious mind the time and space it needs to do its essential work. Your mood is contagious through invisible emotional signals. Without realizing it, you're constantly sending and receiving emotional information through micro-expressions, posture, vocal tones, and even chemical signals. This emotional contagion happens automatically and below the threshold of conscious awareness. When you enter a room where people have been arguing, you might feel tension without knowing why. When you're around someone who's genuinely happy, their mood can lift your spirits through mechanisms you never notice. Your brain has specialized circuits for detecting these subtle emotional cues in others, and it responds by subtly mimicking their emotional state. This isn't weakness or lack of independence. It's a fundamental aspect of how humans connect and coordinate with each other. The phenomenon explains why spending time with positive people can improve your own well-being, and why emotional states can spread through groups like ripples in water. Understanding this process can help you become more intentional about the emotional environments you create and choose to inhabit. Your brain treats imagined experiences almost like real ones. When you vividly imagine performing an action, many of the same neural networks activate as when you actually perform that action. This is why mental rehearsal can improve athletic performance, why visualization techniques can reduce anxiety about future events, and why reading a compelling story can feel emotionally real. Your motor cortex fires when you imagine moving your hand. Your visual cortex activates when you picture a sunset, and your emotional centers respond to imagined scenarios as if they were happening. This neural overlap between imagination and reality is one reason why exposure therapy works for phobias. By gradually imagining feared situations in a safe environment, people can begin to retrain their emotional responses. It's also why negative rumination can be so harmful. Your brain experiences imagined worst-case scenarios as genuine threats, triggering real stress responses to situations that exist only in thought. You have an internal biological clock that can be reset by light. Deep within your brain, in a region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, lies your body's master clock. This cluster of cells maintains your circadian rhythms, the roughly 24-hour cycles that regulate sleep, alertness, hormone production, and countless other biological processes. This internal clock doesn't run exactly on a 24-hour schedule. It typically runs a bit longer. Left to its own devices, your body would gradually drift later and later each day. But light, especially bright light in the morning, resets this clock daily, keeping you synchronized with the external world. This is why exposure to bright screens before bedtime can disrupt sleep, and why travelers experience jet lag when crossing time zones. Your circadian system affects not just sleep, but mood, cognitive performance, immune function, and even how your body responds to medications. Understanding your natural rhythms can help you optimize when you schedule important activities, when you expose yourself to light, and how you structure your daily routines for better physical and mental well-being. Your brain automatically fills in missing information to create coherent experiences. Every moment, you're receiving incomplete information from your senses, but your brain seamlessly fills in the gaps to create a smooth, continuous experience of reality. When someone's voice is partially masked by background noise, your brain uses context to fill in missing words. When objects move behind obstacles, your brain tracks their predicted path, even when you can't see them. When you blink, your brain edits out the brief darkness so you experience continuous vision. This gap filling happens so automatically that you're rarely aware of it. Your brain uses patterns from past experience, contextual cues, and predictive processing to create the missing pieces. Sometimes this leads to perceptual errors, like hearing lyrics in a song that aren't actually there, or seeing movement in your peripheral vision when nothing is moving. But most of the time, this system works beautifully, allowing you to navigate a complex world despite receiving incomplete sensory information. Your sense of free will may be an illusion created by conscious awareness arriving late. Neuroscience research suggests that many of your decisions begin in unconscious brain processes before you become aware of choosing. This doesn't necessarily mean you have no control over your behavior, but it does suggest that consciousness often arrives to witness and narrate decisions that have already begun forming deeper in your brain. Your conscious mind then creates a story about the decision that feels like you deliberately chose it. This process isn't a flaw or deception. It appears to be how human decision-making naturally works. Your unconscious mind handles the initial processing of options and constraints, while consciousness provides reflection, modification, and learning from outcomes. Understanding this can bring a sense of humility about your decision-making process, while also highlighting the importance of creating environments and habits that support the kind of unconscious processing you want to encourage. Your brain has a built-in reward system that can be hijacked by modern technology. Deep in your brain lies a circuit that evolved to motivate survival behaviors like eating, socializing, and reproducing. This reward system releases dopamine not just when you experience something pleasant, but in anticipation of reward. It's what makes you feel excited about upcoming events and motivated to pursue goals. Modern technology has learned to trigger this system in ways that can become compulsive. Social media notifications, video games, and even email provide unpredictable rewards that keep your dopamine system engaged. The intermittent, unpredictable nature of these rewards makes them particularly compelling to your brain, similar to how gambling works. Understanding this system can help you make more conscious choices about technology use, recognizing when digital rewards are satisfying genuine needs and when they might be creating artificial cravings that leave you feeling less satisfied in the long run. You have multiple systems for processing fear, and they don't always agree. When you encounter potential danger, your brain processes the threat through several different pathways simultaneously. The amygdala provides fast, automatic fear responses that can trigger fight or flight reactions before you're consciously aware of danger. The hippocampus places threats in context, helping you distinguish between real and imagined dangers based on memory and experience. The prefrontal cortex evaluates threats rationally, weighing evidence and considering options. These systems can sometimes conflict with each other. Your amygdala might trigger anxiety about flying, while your prefrontal cortex knows statistically that air travel is safe. Your hippocampus might recognize that a situation reminds you of past trauma, even when the current situation is objectively safe. Understanding these different fear systems can help you respond to anxiety with greater compassion and wisdom, recognizing that conflicting feelings about safety aren't signs of weakness or irrationality, but natural consequences of having multiple protective systems working simultaneously. Your brain creates your sense of body ownership through multisensory integration. The feeling that your body belongs to you isn't as simple or automatic as it seems. Your brain constantly integrates information from vision, touch, proprioception, and other senses to maintain your sense of embodiment. This integration can be surprisingly flexible, as demonstrated by the rubber hand illusion. When people watch a rubber hand being stroked, while their real hand is stroked simultaneously but out of view, many begin to feel as if the rubber hand is their own. Virtual reality can create even more dramatic shifts in body ownership, allowing people to feel present in digital bodies or environments. These experiments reveal that your sense of self extends into your physical body through active neural processes that can be influenced and changed. This plasticity of embodiment has implications for understanding phantom limb sensations, body dysmorphia, and how people adapt to prosthetics or other assistive technologies. Your attention naturally wanders about half of your waking hours. Mind wandering isn't a sign of laziness or lack of focus. It's a natural and important function of human consciousness. Research suggests that people's minds wander away from their current activity approximately 40 to 50% of the time they're awake. This mental time travel serves important functions. It allows you to plan for the future, reflect on the past, consider alternative possibilities, and make connections between different areas of your life. However, the quality of mind wandering matters. When your mental wandering is aimless or repetitive, it can contribute to anxiety and depression. When it's purposeful and creative, it can enhance problem solving and well-being. The key is developing awareness of when your mind wanders and gently guiding it toward more constructive directions when necessary, while also allowing space for the natural flow of consciousness that keeps your mental life rich and flexible. Your brain creates different types of memories without your conscious involvement. While you might think of memory as a single process of storing and retrieving information, your brain actually creates multiple types of memories through different mechanisms. Explicit memories, which you can consciously recall, form through one set of brain structures. Implicit memories, which influence your behavior without conscious awareness, form through different pathways. You might not remember learning to fear dogs after a childhood bite, but the implicit memory could still cause anxiety around dogs years later. Skills and habits form procedural memories that can operate independently of conscious recollection. You might forget where you learned to ride a bicycle, but your body retains the procedural memory perfectly. Emotional memories can persist even when factual details fade. These different memory systems explain why you might have strong emotional reactions to situations without understanding why, or why you can perform complex skills without being able to explain exactly how you do them. Your perception of pain is heavily influenced by psychological and social factors. Pain isn't simply a direct readout of tissue damage or injury. Your brain constructs the experience of pain from multiple sources of information, including sensory signals, emotional state, expectations, social context, and past experiences. This is why the same injury can feel more or less painful depending on circumstances. Soldiers in combat sometimes don't feel severe wounds until later, while people in medical settings might experience more pain when they're anxious or expect treatment to hurt. Social support can literally reduce pain perception, while isolation can amplify it. Your beliefs about pain also matter. People who understand that some pain is normal during recovery often experience less distress than those who interpret any pain as a sign of damage. This doesn't mean pain is all in your head, or that severe pain should be dismissed, but rather that the experience of pain involves complex interactions between physical and psychological processes that can be influenced in helpful ways. Your brain has specialized circuits for processing music that connect emotion, memory, and movement. Music activates multiple brain networks simultaneously in ways that few other experiences can match. Rhythm engages motor areas, even when you're sitting still listening. Melody activates auditory processing regions, while also connecting to emotional centers. Lyrics engage language areas, while musical patterns activate regions involved in pattern recognition and prediction. This widespread activation helps explain why music can be so emotionally powerful and why it often triggers vivid memories. The neural connections between music, emotion, and memory remain strong even when other cognitive functions decline, which is why people with dementia often retain musical abilities and why music therapy can be effective for various neurological conditions. Your brain appears to be inherently musical, with specialized circuits that detect rhythm, pitch relationships, and harmonic patterns automatically. This suggests that musicality isn't just a cultural development, but a fundamental aspect of how human brains process organized sound. You have an unconscious body budget that your brain constantly manages. Your brain continuously monitors and regulates the resources your body needs to function effectively. This process, called allostasis, involves predicting your future needs and adjusting your physiology accordingly. Your brain tracks energy levels, hydration, temperature, hormone levels, and countless other variables, making adjustments to maintain optimal functioning. Most of this regulation happens completely outside your conscious awareness. You might suddenly feel thirsty, tired, or hungry without realizing your brain has been monitoring these needs and sending signals to motivate appropriate behaviors. This body budgeting system also influences your emotions and decision-making. When your predicted energy needs are high or your resources are low, you might feel more irritable, have less self-control, or find it harder to regulate emotions. Understanding this can help you recognize when challenging emotions or behaviors might be connected to basic physiological needs rather than character flaws or external circumstances. Your brain creates your experience of consciousness through global integration of information. Consciousness isn't located in any single brain region, but emerges from the integrated activity of multiple neural networks working together. When information becomes conscious, it gets broadcast widely throughout your brain, becoming available to many different mental processes simultaneously. This global workspace allows you to flexibly combine information from perception, memory, emotion, and reasoning to create coherent experiences and guide behavior. The process happens in waves, with different aspects of experience becoming conscious at slightly different times, though it feels seamless to you. Sometimes this integration process can be disrupted, leading to interesting phenomena like having a word on the tip of your tongue, or feeling like you recognize someone without being able to recall where you know them from. The distributed nature of consciousness means that it can be influenced by many factors, and that small changes in brain activity can sometimes lead to significant shifts in conscious experience. Your social connections physically change your brain structure over time. The relationships you form throughout your life don't just provide emotional support. They literally reshape the neural architecture of your mind. When you develop close friendships, romantic partnerships, or meaningful family bonds, your brain adapts by strengthening the circuits involved in social cognition, empathy, and emotional regulation. People with rich social networks show increased gray matter in regions responsible for understanding others' perspectives and managing complex social interactions. Conversely, prolonged isolation can lead to measurable changes in brain structure, particularly in areas involved in stress response and social processing. This neuroplasticity means that every meaningful conversation, every moment of genuine connection, and every act of compassion is quietly rewiring your brain to become more socially skilled and emotionally resilient. The quality of your relationships becomes encoded in the very structure of your mind, creating a biological foundation for deeper connections in the future. Your brain has a built-in system for detecting fairness and cooperation. Deep within your neural circuitry lies an ancient system dedicated to monitoring social fairness and reciprocity. This system activates when you witness acts of justice or injustice, cooperation or betrayal. It responds to unfair treatment with the same intensity as physical pain, which explains why social rejection or inequitable treatment can feel genuinely hurtful. When you observe someone being treated unfairly, even in situations that don't directly affect you, specific brain regions light up with activity. This fairness detection system appears early in development, with young children showing strong emotional responses to unfair distributions of resources long before they can articulate principles of justice. Your brain seems to be wired not just for survival and reproduction, but for maintaining the cooperative relationships that allowed human societies to flourish. This neural commitment to fairness helps explain why violations of justice feel so viscerally wrong, and why working toward fairness and equity feels deeply satisfying. You experience different types of loneliness that affect your brain in distinct ways. Loneliness isn't a single emotion, but rather a complex experience with several different dimensions that your brain processes through separate pathways. Social loneliness occurs when you lack a network of friends and acquaintances for shared activities and companionship. Emotional loneliness happens when you don't have close, intimate relationships where you can share your deepest thoughts and feelings. Existential loneliness emerges when you feel disconnected from meaning, purpose, or spiritual connection. Each type activates different brain networks and creates different patterns of distress. Understanding these distinctions can help you identify what kind of connection you're missing and guide you toward more targeted solutions. Sometimes what feels like general loneliness is actually a specific need for deeper intimacy, broader social engagement, or greater sense of purpose. Your brain's sophisticated social monitoring systems can distinguish between these different forms of disconnection, even when your conscious mind experiences them as a general sense of isolation. Your brain creates mental models of other people that persist even when they're not present. Every person you know exists not only in the external world, but also as a detailed mental representation in your mind. These internal models contain information about their personality, preferences, likely reactions, and relationship history with you. Your brain maintains and updates these models continuously, using them to predict how people will behave, plan social interactions, and navigate complex relationship dynamics. When you imagine having a conversation with someone, you're actually running a simulation using your internal model of that person. These mental representations can sometimes become more real to you than the actual people they represent, especially in close relationships where you've built detailed predictive models over many years. Sometimes conflicts arise not between you and another person, but between you and your internal model of that person, which may not accurately reflect how they've changed or grown. Understanding this process can help you recognize when you might be responding to your mental model rather than the actual person in front of you. Your empathy has an off switch that your brain activates to, while protect you. Empathy is generally considered a positive trait. Your brain has evolved mechanisms to regulate and sometimes suppress empathetic responses. This empathy regulation prevents you from being overwhelmed by others' suffering and allows you to function effectively in difficult situations. Healthcare workers, emergency responders, and others who regularly encounter trauma often develop this regulatory ability unconsciously. Your brain can also reduce empathetic responses toward people you perceive as different from yourself or as members of competing groups. This isn't necessarily a character flaw, but rather an automatic process that helped your ancestors maintain loyalty to their own communities. However, this same mechanism can contribute to prejudice and social division when it operates too broadly or inflexibly. Recognizing that empathy is regulated rather than constant can help you understand why you sometimes feel emotionally distant from others' suffering and why developing compassion often practice. Your brain processes requires conscious effort and moral decisions differently than logical problems. When you face an ethical dilemma, your brain doesn't simply apply logical reasoning to arrive at the right answer. Instead, moral decision-making involves a complex interplay between emotional responses, social intuitions, and rational analysis. Your immediate gut reaction to moral situations often comes from emotional and social processing systems that evolved to help groups cooperate and survive. These quick moral emotions can conflict with slower, more deliberate reasoning processes. This is why you might feel that something is wrong before you can articulate why, or why moral arguments that seem logically sound can still feel emotionally unsatisfying. Different people rely more heavily on different aspects moral processing system of this, which helps explain why individuals with similar values, different ethical, can reach conclusions. Some prioritize emotional responses and intuitive judgments, while others emphasize logical consistency and rational analysis. Neither approach is inherently superior. They're different ways of navigating the complex landscape of human values and social cooperation. Your brain maintains multiple versions of yourself for different social contexts. You don't have a single, fixed personality that remains constant across all situations. Instead, your brain maintains different versions of yourself that emerge in different social contexts. The self you are with your family differs from your professional self, which differs from who you are with close friends or romantic partners. These aren't false personas or masks you wear, but rather different facets of your complex identity that become more prominent in different environments. Your brain automatically adjusts your behavior, communication style, emotional expression, and even your values slightly depending on the social context you're in. Your flexibility allowed ancestors to navigate complex group dynamics and maintain relationships across different social circles. However, when these different versions of yourself are too dramatically different, it can create internal conflict and a sense of not knowing who you really are. The healthiest approach involves maintaining a core sense of identity while allowing for natural variation across different relationships and situations. Your unconscious mind makes snap judgments about trustworthiness in milliseconds. Within the first few hundred milliseconds of seeing a new face, your brain has already formed impressions about that person's trustworthiness, competence, and likability. These lightning-fast judgments happen completely outside conscious awareness and are based on subtle facial features, expressions, and resemblances to people from your past. While these snap judgments are often inaccurate, they powerfully influence your subsequent interactions and feelings about the person. Your brain appears to be using evolutionary shortcuts that once helped identify potential allies or threats quickly in dangerous environments. Features that suggest physical strength, emotional stability, or similarity to your own group tend to generate positive first impressions. Understanding this automatic process can help you recognize when your initial reactions to people might be based on unconscious biases rather than actual knowledge about their character. It also highlights the importance of giving people opportunities to demonstrate their true qualities beyond these immediate impressions. Your brain creates a sense of narrative identity by connecting your experiences into a coherent story. Your sense of who you are isn't just based on current experiences, but on the ongoing story you tell yourself about your life. Your brain continuously works to connect past experiences, present circumstances, and future goals into a meaningful narrative that provides coherence and direction. This story-making process is largely unconscious, but profoundly shapes your identity, decisions, and emotional well-being. People with a strong sense of narrative identity tend to have better mental health and greater resilience in the face of challenges. However, sometimes the stories you tell about yourself become limiting or inaccurate, preventing growth or trapping you in outdated patterns. The remarkable thing about narrative identity is that it can be consciously revised. By reflecting on your life story and considering alternative interpretations of past events, you can literally reshape your sense of self and open up new possibilities for the future. Your brain has specialized circuits for processing shame that are different from other negative emotions. Shame activates a unique pattern of brain activity that distinguishes it from guilt, embarrassment, or other social emotions. When you experience shame, regions involved in self-awareness, social cognition, and threat detection become highly active, while areas associated with approach motivation and self-compassion show decreased activity. This neural signature helps explain why shame feels so different from other uncomfortable emotions and why it can be so difficult on specific behaviors shame involves to overcome. Unlike guilt, which focuses a global negative evaluation of the self that your brain processes as a fundamental threat to social belonging. The shame response evolved as a way to motivate behaviors that would restore social standing after violations of group norms. However, in modern contexts, shame can become chronic and destructive, creating cycles of self-criticism that actually impair the connection, social, and personal growth they originally. Your brain's reward system response evolved to promote more strongly to intermittent reinforcement than consistent rewards. The anticipation of reward often feels better than receiving the reward itself, and your brain's dopamine system is particularly responsive to unpredictable rewards. This is why activities with variable, intermittent rewards can become so compelling and potentially addictive. Your brain evolved this system because in natural environments, rewards like food, social approval, or reproductive opportunities were rarely guaranteed. The dopamine system that responds strongly to uncertain rewards motivated your ancestors to keep trying even when success wasn't assured. This same system explains why gambling, social media, and other modern activities that provide unpredictable rewards can become so engaging. Understanding this can help you recognize when you might be caught in cycles of seeking intermittent rewards that don't actually satisfy your deeper needs. It can also help you design reward systems in your own life that maintain motivation without creating compulsive patterns. Your brain processes physical and emotional warmth through overlapping neural circuits. The same brain regions that detect physical temperature also respond to emotional warmth in relationships. This overlap isn't just metaphorical. It reflects actual shared neural processing that creates real connections between physical and social experiences. When you feel emotionally supported and cared for, your brain activates some of the same circuits involved in physical warmth and comfort. Conversely, social rejection and isolation can trigger neural responses similar to physical coldness. This connection helps explain why warm physical environments can enhance feelings of social connection, and why people often seek physical warmth when feeling emotionally isolated. The overlap between physical and emotional warmth processing suggests that your capacity for love, compassion, and social bonding is literally built into the same neural systems that help you survive in physical environments. This integration of physical and emotional processing reflects the deep evolutionary connection between bodily survival and social cooperation in human development. Your brain automatically mirrors the breathing patterns of people you're close to. When you're in comfortable proximity to someone you care about, your nervous systems begin to synchronize in subtle ways. Your breathing rates, heart rhythms, and even brainwave patterns can align without any conscious effort. This physiological synchrony happens most readily between people who feel emotionally connected and safe with each other. The mirroring appears to be mediated by your autonomic nervous system and can create feelings of calm, connection, and mutual understanding. Parents and children often show this synchrony, as do romantic partners and close friends. The process works both ways. You can sometimes help calm someone else by consciously slowing your own breathing, and their nervous system may naturally follow your lead. This automatic synchronization suggests that and connection operates not just through words and conscious gestures, but through subtle physiological communications that happen below the threshold of awareness. Your brain creates different sleep patterns based on your social relationships. The quality and timing of your sleep are influenced not just by individual factors like stress and health, but by your social environment and relationship status. People in secure, supportive relationships often sleep more deeply and with more regular patterns than those who feel socially isolated or are experiencing relationship conflict. Your brain appears to use sleep differently when you feel safe and connected versus when you feel alone or threatened. Social stress can fragment sleep and increase time spent in lighter sleep stages, while positive social connections can promote the deeper sleep stages that are most restorative. Even the physical presence of trusted others can influence your sleep architecture. This connection between social well-being and sleep quality creates a feedback loop, since better sleep improves emotional regulation and social functioning, while poor sleep can strain relationships and increase social stress. Your brain has a built-in system for detecting authentic versus performed emotions in others. Through microscopic analysis of facial expressions, vocal tones, and body language, your brain can often distinguish between genuine emotions and those that are being deliberately displayed. This detection system operates largely outside conscious awareness, but influences your gut feelings about whether someone is being authentic with you. Genuine emotions involve subtle, involuntary muscle movements and timing patterns that are difficult to fake convincingly. Your brain has evolved to be particularly sensitive to these authentic emotional signals because they provided crucial information about others' true intentions and internal states. However, this system isn't perfect, and skilled emotional performers can sometimes fool it. Additionally, cultural differences in emotional expression can sometimes trigger false positives, making authentic emotions from other cultures seem performed or insincere. Understanding this automatic authenticity detection can help you trust your instincts about people while also remaining open to cultural differences in emotional expression. Your imagination uses the same neural networks as memory, which is why imagined events can feel like real memories. When you vividly imagine future scenarios or create mental stories, your brain activates many of the same regions involved in remembering actual past experiences. This overlap between imagination and memory networks means that imagined events can sometimes become incorporated into your autobiographical memory, especially if you've imagined them repeatedly or with strong emotional content. This phenomenon helps explain false memories, but it also reveals something beautiful about human cognition. Your ability to imagine possible futures, create compelling stories, and mentally rehearse different scenarios all relies on the same neural machinery that stores your personal history. This shared system allows you to learn from experiences you've never actually had and prepare for situations you've never encountered. It also means that the stories you tell yourself about possible futures can feel as emotionally real as memories of actual events. Your brain processes time differently when you're with people you love. Social connection literally alters your perception of time's passage. When you're engaged in meaningful interactions with people you care about, time often seems to fly by, while boring social situations can make minutes feel like hours. Your brain's time perception system is influenced by attention, emotion, and arousal levels, all of which are affected by social context. Positive social engagement tends to create a state of absorbed attention where you lose track of time's passage. This time distortion isn't just a subjective feeling. It reflects actual changes in how your brain processes temporal information. The phenomenon helps explain why meaningful relationships feel timeless and why people often report that time spent with loved ones passes too quickly. Understanding this connection between social connection and time perception can help you appreciate why investing time in relationships feels so valuable and why loneliness can make time feel heavy and slow. Your brain creates a sense of psychological ownership that extends beyond physical possessions. The neural circuits that process ownership don't just respond to things you legally own, but to anything you feel psychologically connected to or invested in. This can include ideas you've contributed to, places you've spent time in, people you care about, and even aspects of your identity. Your brain treats threats to these psychological possessions similarly to threats to physical property, activating defensive responses and stress reactions. This extended sense of ownership helps explain why people can feel personally attacked when their ideas are criticized, why they develop attachments to places they've never owned, and why identity threats can feel so viscerally threatening. The ownership system also influences motivation and caretaking behavior. When you feel psychological ownership over something, you're more likely to invest effort in maintaining and improving it. Understanding this expanded sense of ownership can help you recognize why certain situations trigger unexpectedly strong emotional responses. Your brain automatically adjusts your personality based on the language you're speaking. If you speak multiple languages, you might notice that you feel slightly different when switching between them. This isn't just cultural conditioning, it's a neurological phenomenon. Different languages activate slightly different neural networks in your brain, and these networks are connected to different emotional and personality systems. People often report feeling more confident in one language, more romantic in another, or more logical in a third. The grammar structures, cultural associations, and even the physical mouth movements required for different languages can subtly shift your cognitive and emotional state. Your brain stores not just the words and rules of each language, but also the social and emotional contexts in which you learn them. This means that switching languages can unconsciously activate different aspects of your personality and different ways of thinking about the world. The phenomenon suggests that language isn't just a tool for communication, but an active shaper of consciousness and identity. Your brain has a specialized system for detecting when you're being watched. Have you ever felt someone's eyes on you and turned around to find someone looking in your direction? While this feeling isn't always accurate, your brain does have neural circuits dedicated to detecting direct gaze from others. This gaze detection system operates extremely quickly and often below conscious awareness. Your peripheral vision is particularly sensitive to eye-like patterns and direct stares, even when you're not consciously paying attention. This system evolved because being watched could signal either opportunity or threat in social situations. Predators watch their prey. Potential mates signal interest through sustained gaze, and social allies use eye contact to coordinate activities. Your brain processes direct gaze as fundamentally different from other visual stimuli, activating regions involved in social cognition, arousal, and sometimes threat detection. This automatic gaze detection helps explain why eye contact feels so intense and why you can sometimes sense a tension even when you can't see the person looking at you. Your brain creates different versions of reality for each of your eyes. While you experience vision as a unified, coherent view of the world, your brain is actually processing two slightly different images from your left and right eyes and combining them into a single experience. This process, called binocular fusion, usually happens seamlessly. But sometimes the two images can't be easily combined, and your brain has to choose which version of reality to present to your consciousness. This can happen when the images are too different, when one eye is blocked, or when you're looking at certain optical illusions. When forced to choose, your brain doesn't just pick one image randomly. It uses factors like emotional content, clarity, familiarity, and attention to decide which version becomes your conscious reality. The unchosen image doesn't disappear entirely. It continues to be processed unconsciously and can influence your behavior and emotions even though you're not aware of it. This reveals something profound about consciousness. Your unified experience of reality is actually a carefully constructed synthesis that your brain creates from multiple, sometimes competing sources of information. Your dreams often solve problems by combining memories in impossible ways. During REM sleep, your brain doesn't just replay the day's events randomly. Instead, it appears to be running creative experiments, combining elements from different memories and experiences in novel ways. This process can lead to genuine insights and solutions that weren't available during waking thought. The dreaming brain seems to ignore logical constraints and realistic possibilities, allowing it to explore connections and combinations that waking consciousness might dismiss as impossible or impractical. Many scientific discoveries, artistic innovations, and practical solutions have reportedly emerged from dreams where the mind was free to recombine existing knowledge in unrealistic but ultimately useful ways. Your brain during dreams operates with reduced activity in regions responsible for logical evaluation and reality testing, while maintaining high activity in areas involved in memory, emotion, and creative association. This unique neural state allows for the kind of flexible, unconstrained thinking that can reveal hidden connections between seemingly unrelated ideas and experiences. Your brain has a built-in system for detecting social hierarchies that operates automatically. Within moments of entering a new social group, your brain begins unconsciously assessing the relative status and dominance relationships among the people present. This hierarchy detection system processes subtle cues like posture, vocal tone, eye contact patterns, seating arrangements, and interaction styles to create a mental map of social relationships. This mapping happens so quickly and automatically that you often have intuitive feelings about group dynamics before you can consciously analyze what you're observing. Your brain uses this social hierarchy information to guide your own behavior, adjusting your communication style, confidence level, and even your physical posture based on your perceived position in the group. This system evolved because understanding social hierarchies was crucial for survival in early human communities. Misjudging your place in the social order could lead to conflict, exclusion, or missed opportunities for cooperation and resources. While modern social structures are more complex than ancient hierarchies, your brain continues to use these ancient systems to navigate contemporary social environments. Your sense of smell is directly connected to memory and emotion in ways that bypass rational thought. Unlike other senses, which are processed through multiple brain regions before reaching areas involved in memory and emotion, smell connects almost directly to your limbic system. This direct pathway means that scents can trigger powerful emotional responses and vivid memories almost instantly, often before you've consciously identified what you're smelling. A particular perfume might immediately transport you back to a specific moment from years ago, complete with all the emotions you felt at that time. Your brain stores smell memories differently than other types of memories, and they appear to be more resistant to forgetting and distortion over time. This is why smell-triggered memories often feel particularly vivid and emotionally authentic. The connection between smell and emotion also works in reverse. Your emotional state can influence how you perceive and remember scents. When you're stressed or anxious, you might become hypersensitive to certain odors, while positive emotions can make pleasant scents seem even more appealing. Your brain automatically synchronizes with rhythmic patterns in your environment, whether it's music, speech patterns, or even visual rhythms like flashing lights. Your brain has a natural tendency to entrain to regular patterns around you. This synchronization happens across multiple neural networks and can influence everything from your attention and mood to your sense of connection with others. When you listen to music, your brain waves actually begin to align with the rhythm and tempo of the songs. This neural entrainment can alter your mental state, making fast rhythms energizing and slow rhythms calming. The same principle explains why group activities like chanting, drumming, or even walking together can create powerful feelings of unity and connection. Your brain is essentially synchronizing with the brains of others through shared rhythmic experiences. This attainment system likely evolved to help groups coordinate their activities and maintain social cohesion. Understanding this natural tendency toward rhythmic synchronization can help you use music, movement, and environmental rhythms intentionally to influence your own mental and emotional states. Your brain creates a buffer zone around your body that it treats as part of your personal space. This invisible boundary, called parapersonal space, extends roughly arm's length around your body in all directions. Your brain monitors this space constantly for potential threats, opportunities, or social signals, processing objects and movements within this zone differently than those further away. When someone or something enters your parapersonal space, specific neural networks activate to track the intrusion and prepare potential responses. The size and sensitivity of this space can change social context. When you're anxious or feeling based on your emotional state, cultural background, and current threatened, your parapersonal space often expands, making you more sensitive to nearby movements and presences. In contrast, when you're with trusted friends or romantic partners, this boundary can contract or become more permeable. Tools and objects you use regularly can become temporarily incorporated into your parapersonal space, which is why you can navigate with a cane or parking a car without constantly looking at these extensions of your body. Your brain has separate systems for understanding what objects are versus where they are located. Vision involves two major processing streams that handle different aspects of visual information. The ventral stream, sometimes called the what pathway, specializes in identifying objects, faces, and patterns. The dorsal stream, or where-how pathway, focuses on spatial relationships, movement, and guiding actions. These two systems can sometimes provide conflicting information, leading to interesting perceptual phenomena. You might be able to accurately reach for an object while simultaneously misperceiving its size or orientation, or you might recognize what something is without being able to accurately judge where it's located in space. This division of visual processing helps explain why some people are better at recognizing faces while others excel at spatial navigation. Why certain types of brain damage can affect object recognition while leaving spatial abilities intact. And why you can sometimes know exactly where something is without being able to identify what it is, or vice versa. Your brain treats mental effort like a physical resource that can be depleted and restored. Just as physical exercise can tire your muscles, mental activities that require sustained attention, decision-making, or self-control can exhaust cognitive resources. This mental fatigue isn't just a subjective feeling of being tired. It corresponds to measurable changes in brain activity and performance. When your cognitive resources are depleted, you're more likely to make impulsive decisions, have difficulty regulating emotions, and struggle with tasks that require sustained focus. However, like physical fitness, your mental stamina can be improved through practice and training. Regular meditation, challenging cognitive activities, and even certain types of physical exercise can enhance your brain's ability to sustain mental effort over longer periods. Your brain also has natural rhythms of cognitive energy throughout the day, with most people experiencing peak mental performance at certain times and natural lulls at others. Understanding and working with these natural rhythms can help you optimize when you tackle demanding mental tasks. Your brain automatically creates categories and stereotypes as a way of processing complex social information efficiently. While stereotyping is often discussed as a negative bias, the underlying cognitive process serves an important function in helping you navigate an overwhelmingly complex social world. Your brain constantly encounters more social information than it can process thoroughly, so it creates mental shortcuts by grouping people into categories based on observable characteristics. These categories allow you to make quick predictions about how people might behave, what they might need, and how you should interact with them. The problem arises when these mental shortcuts become rigid, inaccurate, or harmful, leading to prejudice and discrimination. However, the categorization process itself is natural and necessary for social functioning. Understanding this can help you work with your brain's natural tendencies, while also developing more nuanced, accurate, and compassionate ways of understanding the people around you. The key is maintaining flexibility in your categories and remaining open to information that challenges your initial assumptions. Your brain has a remarkable ability to adapt to sensory loss by reassigning neural resources to remaining senses. When one sensory system is damaged or absent, other senses often become enhanced through a process called cross-modal plasticity. People who are blind from birth often develop superior hearing abilities, with the visual cortex being recruited to process auditory information. Those who lose hearing may develop enhanced peripheral vision and increased sensitivity to vibrations. This neural reorganization isn't just compensation. It represents actual structural and functional changes in brain organization. The plasticity demonstrates that your brain regions aren't as rigidly specialized as once believed. Areas that normally process visual information can learn to process sound or touch when necessary. This adaptability extends beyond sensory loss to other types of brain changes throughout life. Your brain continuously reassigns resources based on what you use most and what you need most, optimizing its organization for your particular environment and experiences. This flexibility offers hope for recovery from various types of brain injury and highlights the importance of challenging yourself with new experiences throughout life. Your brain creates a sense of free will, even when your actions are being influenced by factors outside your conscious awareness. Many of your daily decisions are influenced by factors you're not consciously considering. The temperature of the room, the time since you last ate, subtle environmental cues, or even random neural fluctuations. Yet you typically feel as though you're making these choices freely and deliberately. Your brain appears to construct a narrative of intentional choice, even when your behavior is being shaped by unconscious processes. This doesn't mean free will is entirely illusory, but rather that consciousness often arrives to claim ownership of decisions that began forming through unconscious processes. Understanding this can bring both humility about your decision-making process and practical wisdom about creating environments that support the kinds of unconscious influences you want to encourage. If you want to make healthier food choices, for example, you can arrange your environment to make healthy options more prominent and convenient, working with your brain's tendency to be influenced by factors outside conscious awareness. Your brain processes rejection using the same neural pathways as physical injury. Social exclusion, rejection, and isolation activate brain regions, including the anterior cingulate cortex and right ventral prefrontal cortex, that also respond to physical pain. This overlap explains why phrases like broken heart and hurt feelings aren't just metaphors, but descriptions of genuine neural experiences. The pain of social rejection can be as real and intense as physical injury to both types of pain, and your brain responds with similar defensive and healing mechanisms. This shared neural circuitry suggests that social connection is not just emotionally important, but biologically essential for human well-being. Your brain treats threats to social belonging as threats to survival, because throughout human evolutionary history, exclusion from the group often meant death. Understanding this connection between social and physical pain can help you take social wounds seriously, while also recognizing that they can heal over time, just as physical injuries do. It also highlights the importance of creating and maintaining supportive social connections as a fundamental aspect of mental and physical health. And now, as these insights settle gently into your mind like snowflakes on still water, let yourself sink deeper into rest. We've wandered through the hidden landscapes of consciousness, discovered the quiet mechanisms that shape your thoughts and dreams, and glimpsed the remarkable ways your brain constructs the reality you experience each moment. Your mind is not just a thinking machine, but a living system that grows, adapts, and connects with the world and others in ways more beautiful and complex than any single explanation could capture. As your breathing grows slower and your thoughts begin to blur at the edges, remember that even now, in the approaching stillness of sleep, your brain continues its gentle work. It consolidates memories from the day, processes emotions, and prepares for tomorrow's experiences. In dreams, it will weave together fragments of knowledge and feeling into new patterns, some of which you may remember, and others that will influence you in ways you'll never consciously know. Let yourself rest in the knowledge that your mind is both mysterious and reliable, both individual and connected to every other conscious being. Sleep well, knowing that consciousness itself is one of the universe's most remarkable achievements, and you carry that achievement within you. Your brain can rewire itself through the simple act of gratitude. When you regularly practice gratitude, you're not just thinking positive thoughts. You're literally changing your neural architecture. Brain imaging studies show that people who consistently acknowledge what they're thankful for develop stronger connections in areas associated with dopamine production, emotional regulation, and social bonding. These changes aren't temporary mood boosts, but lasting structural modifications that make it easier to notice positive experiences and maintain emotional balance. Your brain begins to scan your environment more readily for things to appreciate rather than problems to solve or threats to avoid. This rewiring happens gradually, like water slowly carving new channels in rock. Each time you pause to appreciate something, small though it may be, you're strengthening neural pathways that support well-being and resilience. The practice doesn't require dramatic expressions of thankfulness, just gentle, consistent attention to moments of beauty, kindness, or simple comfort that already exist in your daily experience. Your unconscious mind rehearses conversations and scenarios while you sleep. During certain stages of sleep, your brain appears to practice social interactions, replaying conversations from the day, and even rehearsing potential future encounters. This nocturnal social processing helps you consolidate relationship memories, process emotional interactions, and prepare for upcoming social challenges. Sometimes you might wake up with new insights about a relationship conflict, or suddenly understand someone's behavior that puzzled you the day before. Your dreaming mind isn't bound by the same social constraints as waking consciousness, so it can explore different perspectives and emotional responses more freely. This overnight processing can lead to increased empathy, better conflict resolution skills, and more nuanced understanding of social dynamics. The rehearsal isn't random, but seems to focus on emotionally significant interactions and unresolved social situations. Your brain uses these sleep-based simulations to refine your social skills and emotional intelligence in ways that conscious practice alone might not achieve. You have a neural signature for hope that activates even in difficult circumstances. Neuroscientists have identified specific brain patterns associated with hope and optimism that remain active even during challenging times. These neural networks involve connections between the prefrontal cortex, which handles planning and goal setting, and limbic regions that process emotions and motivation. When you maintain hope, these areas work together to generate scenarios for positive futures while simultaneously managing present difficulties. Remarkably, this hope system can function even when logical analysis suggests pessimistic outcomes. Your brain appears to have evolved mechanisms that bias you toward believing positive change is possible, even when evidence is mixed or scarce. This neural optimism isn't delusion, but rather an adaptive system that motivates continued effort and creative problem-solving when purely rational assessment might lead to giving up. The hope networks can be strengthened through practices like visualization, setting small, achievable goals, and connecting with others who share positive visions for the future. Your brain creates a unique fingerprint of neural activity when you're truly listening to another person. Active, empathetic listening involves a distinct pattern of brain activation that's different from simply hearing words or waiting for your turn to speak. When you're genuinely focused on understanding someone else's perspective, Your mirror neuron systems activate strongly. Your default mode network quiets down, and areas involved in theory of mind become highly engaged. This neural state creates a form of temporary synchronization between your brain and the speaker's brain, allowing for deeper understanding and connection. The listening brain also shows increased activity in regions associated with emotional regulation and reduced activity in areas involved in self-referential thinking and judgment. This suggests that true listening requires temporarily setting aside your own concerns and perspectives to create space for another person's experience. The neural effort involved in this process explains why deep listening can feel both energizing and exhausting, and why it's such a powerful way to strengthen relationships and build trust. Your brain has a specialized system for detecting authenticity in your own behavior. Just as you can sense when others are being genuine or performing, your brain monitors your own authenticity through internal feedback loops. When your actions align with your values and genuine feelings, certain neural networks activate that create feelings of integrity and self-coherence. When you're acting in ways that conflict with your true preferences or beliefs, different circuits engage, often creating subtle feelings of discomfort or internal tension. This authenticity detection system helps explain why being yourself feels good and why prolonged periods of performing roles that don't fit your nature can be exhausting. Your brain appears to maintain an internal model of your authentic self and continuously compares your current behavior against this template. The system isn't rigid, it allows for growth and change, but it does provide feedback when there's too much discrepancy between who you are and how you're acting. Learning to pay attention to these internal authenticity signals can guide you toward choices and relationships that support your genuine well-being. Your memory system creates false memories to maintain psychological coherence. Your brain doesn't just store experiences neutrally, it actively edits and revises memories to maintain a consistent sense of self and worldview. When new experiences contradict existing beliefs or self-concepts, your memory system sometimes adjusts past recollections to reduce the psychological tension. This isn't conscious deception, but an automatic process that helps maintain mental stability and coherence. You might remember being more confident in a situation than you actually were, or recall events in ways that support your current understanding of relationships or circumstances. These memory revisions usually involve subtle shifts in emotional tone, emphasis, or interpretation, rather than dramatic fabrications. The process serves important psychological functions by helping you maintain a stable sense of identity and learn from experience without being overwhelmed by contradictions. However, understanding this tendency can help you approach your own memories with appropriate humility and remain open to alternative perspectives on past events. Your brain processes compliments and criticism through different neural pathways with different time courses. When you receive positive feedback, your brain processes it through reward circuits that create pleasant feelings, but may not engage deeply with the specific content. Criticism, on the other hand, activates threat detection systems that analyze the information more thoroughly and store it more. means that criticism durably in memory. This asymmetry often has more lasting impact on behavior change than praise, even though praise feels better in the moment. Your brain appears to be wired to learn more from negative feedback because mistakes and threats historically carried higher survival costs than missed opportunities for pleasure. However, this doesn't mean criticism is always more valuable than praise. Positive feedback serves important functions in motivation, relationship building, and maintaining confidence to take risks and try new approaches. Understanding these different processing pathways can help you give and receive feedback more effectively. Recognizing that criticism needs to be balanced with sufficient positive reinforcement to maintain psychological safety and motivation. You have multiple attention systems that can operate independently or in coordination. Your ability to focus isn't a single mental capacity, but rather the result of several different attention networks working together. The alerting system helps you maintain vigilant awareness of your environment. The orienting system directs your attention to specific locations or objects. The executive attention system manages conflicts between different attention demands and helps you stay focused on goals despite distractions. These systems can function independently, which is why you might be good at staying alert but struggle with selective attention, or excel at focusing on details while having difficulty maintaining overall awareness. Understanding these different components of attention can help you identify your particular strengths and challenges and develop more targeted strategies for managing attention in different situations. Some meditation practices specifically train different attention networks, while certain lifestyle factors like exercise, sleep, and nutrition affect these systems in different ways. Your brain creates emotional contagion through unconscious mimicry of facial expressions and body language. When you're around other people, your facial muscles automatically make tiny movements that mirror their expressions, even when you're not consciously aware of their emotions. This micro-mimicry sends feedback to your brain about the emotional state you're unconsciously imitating, creating a form of emotional resonance. You literally feel echoes of others' emotions through this embodied simulation process. The system works so automatically that you can catch someone's mood within seconds of entering a room, often before you've consciously processed any emotional cues. This emotional contagion serves important social functions by helping groups coordinate their emotional states and respond collectively to opportunities or threats. However, it also means you're constantly influenced by the emotional states of people around you, sometimes in ways that don't serve your well-being. Understanding this process can help you become more intentional about the emotional environments you choose and develop strategies for maintaining your own emotional balance when necessary. Your brain has a built-in novelty detection system that constantly scans for new and unexpected information. This system operates below conscious awareness, monitoring your environment for changes, surprises, and unfamiliar patterns. When novelty is detected, it captures your attention and enhances memory formation, helping you learn about potentially important changes in your world. The novelty detection system explains why new experiences feel energizing and memorable, while routine activities fade into the background of consciousness. It also helps explain why travel, learning new skills, and meeting new people can be both exciting and exhausting. Your brain is working harder to process unfamiliar information and update its models of the world. This system can be deliberately engaged by seeking out new experiences, changing routines, or approaching familiar situations from different perspectives. Regular exposure to appropriate levels of novelty appears to support cognitive flexibility, creativity, and even neuroplasticity throughout life, while too much novelty can become overwhelming and stressful. Tonight, we've journeyed together through the quiet wonders of your magnificent mind, discovering how your brain constructs reality, processes emotions, and connects you to others in ways both subtle and profound. From the gentle editing of perception to the unconscious rehearsal of dreams, from the neural pathways of empathy to the invisible threads of emotional contagion, we've glimpsed the elegant complexity that makes you who you are. Your brain is not simply a computer processing information, but a living, breathing system that grows with every experience, adapts with every challenge, and reaches toward connection with every heartbeat. As you drift now toward sleep, let these insights settle like soft rain on fertile ground. Your mind will continue its quiet work through the night, weaving together the threads of today's experiences, strengthening the neural pathways that serve you, and preparing for tomorrow's possibilities. In dreams, it will dance between memory and imagination, solving problems in ways your waking mind never could. Rest peacefully, knowing that consciousness itself is perhaps the universe's most beautiful creation, and you carry that miracle within you, breathing softly in the darkness, forever growing, forever becoming. Sleep well.